Hello, this is Paul Milligan for IC Show TV at IC 2017. I'm here in the AR, VR, MR zone of the RAI. I'm joined today by Peter Cliff from Holovis. Welcome, Peter.
Hi.
We know your kind of immersion technology for visitor attractions and kind of big kind of sexy kind of installs and stuff, but could you talk me through, I mean, a lot of our readers are integrators and consultants who work in a lot of sort of corporate enterprise sector. Could you tell us if there are any sort of applications for those guys that they'd be interested in?
Yeah, well, you know, obviously immersive is the big buzzword at the moment when it comes to visitor attractions and media-led attractions. But what we're finding is that we can take some of those elements, those key elements that bring people into those created worlds and apply them to training programs, shared VR platforms. So it's one of the things we've actually got behind us. That's our near-death simulator, which was created for a construction firm. So basically they were having issues with accidents working at height. So they wanted to create a tool they could use within their training program that would really kind of hammer home the risks when working at height. So we took things like wind machines, motion actuators, VR to make that lesson program far more impactful at that stage. So that's a perfect example of how that can work. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I think that maybe you can maybe correct me on this, but I think the perception at the moment seems to be that people are searching for what's called a sort of killer app, I suppose, especially in the Pro EV world, especially sort of the corporate things. But it sounds like there are applications out there. Is it maybe a case of getting the messaging across that it is possible to do things like that, not just kind of big visitor attraction stuff?
Yeah, I think there's so much on the market when it comes to tech at the moment, and it's just making sure that we don't get lost in the fad of whatever that new piece of technology is. It's about looking at what's the application, what story are we trying to tell, what lesson are we trying to teach, what experience are we trying to give, and working backwards, then looking beyond our kind of the boundaries of the market that we're in, and stepping outside and going, well, how can these elements pull that in? That's what we do with any of our attractions. We say, what's our story, and then we'll apply the tech as those storytelling elements as opposed to the other way around.
But as you're saying, the story can be something medical or something financial. It doesn't have to be Harry Potter
totally.
Or a Disney. Or
It's there's cross application for all of this tech. Yeah.
I mean, are you guys aware of the sort of dangers of hype? I suppose you mentioned it there about the next technology or the next big thing. Are you aware of that as an organisation?
Well, yeah, 100%. I mean, we get a lot of questions and requests for VR type experiences, and within a theme park industry, we're trying to hit throughputs of 800 to 1,500 people an hour. So when it's kind of head-mounted devices, that can cause a lot of operational challenges. So, we're at the forefront of trying to scope out what's robust enough, what works, what actually delivers the quality in which our kind of clients are expecting, and ensuring that the piece of technology is right for its application.
Sure. I mean, when you get requests from integrators and consultants, do they have a clear idea of what they want, or is it just that they're looking for maybe something new or something different or something immersive?
Well, I think it's really different. There's examples of both extremes. We'll get integrators, we'll get clients who will come to us and say, this is exactly what we want. So there's no input from your creative. We want these speakers here, this show control here, we want this visual medium here, and that's great. But we also get other people who don't necessarily know what they want, and that gives us a great opportunity to interpret, to be almost like the Babel fish. They'll give us an idea, and then we can use our wealth of experience within the immersive world and the immersive tech world to create an experience that's actually quite unique and quite engaging, and far more engaging than where we started at the beginning of the project or process.
Sure. I mean, something that's sometimes levelled at integrators and consultants is that they are over-reliant on kind of tried and trusted technology. Do you find there's maybe a barrier to convincing these guys that actually you can do really incredible things with this kind of tech?
Yeah, and that's the tricky question which you've kind of you've got to approach with a client. I think it's about you can take risks, and I think taking risks is what gives you the kind of really cool, interesting, sexy stuff at the end of a project. But those risks don't necessarily have to be a brand new VR headset that's never been used before in a commercial platform. It's kind of what I've just said. It's about taking a risk by stepping into a different sector or a different market. There'll be a very safe space in enterprise and retail, but if you go and dip into a theme park environment or visitor attraction, that's a risk in some respects, but you're already using that tried and tested technology from a different application. And it could be something else. It could be sport, it could be television, it could be broadcast. It really doesn't matter, but that's the kind of really cool risks that deliver something really unique.
Brilliant. Peter, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks a lot.